Hello, 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 hello. For a very impromptu Belle Collective review. I know I am late, but I am here. I am here to discuss with you all. And if you catch the playback, hello to you all as well. Welcome back. Please do not forget to thumbs up the video on your way in. This week has been very, very hectic for me. Okay. It's been a very hectic week. So thank you all to those of you that are, just be bearing with me. That just be bearing with me, child, because life just be doing whatever it wants sometimes. Your girl did celebrate her 29th birthday on Tuesday. Yay! 29 on the 30th. Gemini season, all that. So, of course, I went out and celebrated that, which was amazing. Thank you all to those of you that sent happy birthday wishes and all of that. I felt very, very appreciated this year. I really did. It was a good time. It was a good time. And I'm looking forward. I didn't really want to do too much this year because next year, next year is going down, y'all. It's going down next year. So I didn't really feel the need to do very much, because I'd rather just, save up my little coin or whatever until next year. But again, I don't plan on being up here for that long. So let's get right into the review. This was Belle Collective Season 3, Episode 2, Falling Off a Cliff. And we picked up right where we pretty much left off with Latrice and Cliff from the first episode. And, you guys, I could see Latrice is going to work my nerves with this whole storyline this season. I do understand that people are going to navigate and exit situations on their own time. So I try not to put too much, stock into that. But at the same time, it's just like, come on now. Come on now. And this is, again, why I'm not super upset with Josh, because I believe Josh is speaking from a place of like seeing something right in front of your face. Like, we can only go off of what we've seen on screen, of course. All right, got it, good. But Josh, however, he's been in close proximity with Latrice and Cliff to see the dynamic of their relationship. And I think that's why he is so emotional when it comes to talking and discussing the intricacies of their relationship. So that's where we kind of started off with it at first. And, she even says, they go back inside of the bar or whatever, M bar, whatever it's called. And Cliff like makes it his business to sit up and just keep like scowling and peering and looking over at them. And I'm just like, dude, are you serious? Like, this, he can't be serious, because nobody in their right mind, like, what do you expect her to do when you're not around? Like, she just supposed to sit like a waiting duck or what? But Latrice even said at one point she feels like a little kid, like a kid at a school dance with her parents, chaperoning her. And I'm just like, I have never thought of my marriage, of my partner, as my chaperone, my parent, anything like that. And if that's the type of authority that they're trying to inflict in your life, then that situation just doesn't seem of any value. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I really don't feel like I am. So she also goes on to compare her relationship to her parents or her mom. She kind of compares herself to like her mom, where her mom she was a death till death do us part type of woman. And that can get you messed up. That can get you in some situations that you don't need to be in, because I am a devout believer in if a situation is no longer serving you, and honestly, I don't really see how this ever really did, but if a situation no longer serves you, then you need to exit. You need to go about your business. You need to do what you got to do. Because again, no one should be thinking of their partner as their chaperone. Like that should not even be, that's not a synonym. That's not a synonym, like husband, wife, partner, spouse, whoever. Like last time I checked, it is not a synonym for a parent. But again, I'm gonna get off my high horse because at the end of the day, she needs to leave the situation when, you know, she wants to leave the situation. She's gonna do what she want to do. So I'm never gonna go harder for a person than they do themselves in the situation. So, you know, it is what it is. Josh comes in, he does speak to Cliff, and Cliff's not really here for it. And I honestly was kind of confused by their scenes and by like the production, the recording and editing of it all this episode. I was kind of confused as to when certain conversations happen and certain incidents happen. And I'm meaning more specifically between Josh and Cliff, because it seemed as though when Josh was saying hi or whatever to Cliff that he didn't understand what the animosity was about. But then later on, we find out that it really went down a couple nights previously, and it was just kind of confusing. So maybe someone can clarify that in the comments. And she continues to say to refer to Cliff as protective. Cliff is not protective. Cliff is controlling. There is a difference. Those two things, again, are not synonyms for one another. And you can't want the gray area, the fine line between the two is when someone is trying to override you in ways that you just don't need, in ways that don't even serve you a purpose, but serve them a purpose. Like, nah, we're good on that. We're good on that. Next, we see Soguchi and JJ. We did find out, I think last week, that Star, one of JJ's twin girls, is pregnant, and she comes by with D, who is Soguchi's daughter, and we saw that she had a baby last season, or she's pregnant last season, whatever. So they come by, they're in a better place. I like to see that. Apparently all the girls, you know, they've been getting along better this season, and I really, really, really am happy for that, for real. However, JJ has his on his back because he found out about Star being pregnant, getting married, and all that good stuff online on social media. And so he got a bone to pick with her of it. But my thing is, JJ, if you are upset about this, perhaps you should get a mirror and look at it and look in the mirror at yourself, because I don't care. I'm a devout believer in, if you want somebody to be there, if there's certain people in your life that have shown up for you in certain ways and you rock with them for real, you're not just going to accidentally leave them out or something like that. It had to be a reason. It had to be something that he did or did not do, emphasis on did not do, that made him want to, or that made her leave him out and not tell him offline. There's something. And I feel like the way that he, you know, I guess back on the other show back in the day, their dance show, whatever, he was showing up in that capacity, but I don't know if he really took the time to pour into them perhaps the ways that they truly needed or whatever. And I say that because Star goes on to say that when they go to the side, she didn't want to tell him out of fear of how he would react or whatever. And that just tells me that he probably like wanted them, he was probably going so hard about how he wanted them to be in their lives and what they want, what careers, what however he wanted them to lead their lives is probably what he threw out there. And they probably, you know, that probably formed some type of resentment. So that That is what I assume is the reason, but she kind of kept it cute. I shout outs to D during this entire episode, because she was saying what we were saying, what we was thinking, what I was thinking, what I was saying, at least, because her take on the situation is that they can't really talk to him because he's controlling as well. He's controlling as well. Go figure as to why he probably gets along with Cliff. You see what I did there? Okay. And he wants them to be perfect and blah, blah, blah. And again, that speaks to my point that I just said, that it's like they probably don't feel as though they can come to him with everything, because he's going to either shame them, tell them, oh, you should have did this, you should have took my advice, whatever it is. He seems kind of like he could very well pass for someone who is like a show person, like a show. They do things for show or whatever, but don't really do what is all needed. Anyway, let me get up off of him. And so then Gucci says, she starts to speak kind of about like Selena, and this whole time she's kind of been approaching the situation from the angle of saying like, oh, Selena, she tells the girls things, make them dislike me, and and that's kind of where all the tension has risen from, is based off of the things that Selena has said and put into the girls' ears. Yes, have I seen that happen in real life before? Yes, I have. Do I think that this is a product of that? No, not necessarily. Again, I did not watch the Dancing Dolls or whatever show. I didn't watch that. So I can't speak. When I'm speaking, I'm only speaking off of things that I have seen since watching this show. And kind of from what I've been told, Selena don't really be like, she be being unproblematic and doing her own thing over there. So I don't really understand why So Gucci is trying to deliver this narrative of, oh, well, she just be telling the girls this and that. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know, but I'm really excited to see next week's episode to see kind of how it unfolds even more. But that's really it for that scene, y'all. So Gucci, no. And what is up with people not wanting to be referred to as like granddad, grandma, whatever, like those traditional names, those traditional titles? What's up with that? Like, why has everybody got to put their own little twist on it these days? I just don't understand. Anyway, so Jackson State tailgate, Tambra shows up with her manager, Quasi, her station manager, Quasi. No, I did not say Demand. I did not make a mistake and not say Demand. I said Quasi on purpose, because that is who Tambra showed up with. And just like we were thinking it, they were thinking it as well. They being So Gucci and D, because they like, okay, who's this? This isn't. Last time I checked, this is not Demand. And please make sure you guys are liking the video. Let everybody know that we are here, because this is impromptu. So you know how YouTube be doing. But yeah, so Tambra, she's acting like she doesn't know where the other Bells are. And we do get this flashback of So Gucci popping in on her at the radio station. And she kind of tries to make it seem like she would be open to having the other girls there, or they're definitely invited. But we see that only So Gucci showed up, and that's because Tambra she's lying. She's lying. She only directly invited So Gucci. The other ladies never received an invitation, and we'll get into that in a second. But nonetheless, I don't know. And I don't know where Akeisha was this episode. We didn't get any scenes with her. But So Gucci, she's wondering who Quasi is, because the way I can see it. I'm not trying to say, because I don't live at these people's house. I don't know. But from the looks of it, I can believe that Tambra, and Quasi, I could see them being something. I definitely can. And we see how things are going between her and Damon. So again, I would not be surprised. um I was really upset when Soguchi tried to say that Damon isn't there, probably because he's at another tailgate. And I'm so glad that D called her on that, because I was like, now you know dang well, Soguchi, that Damon is at no other tailgate. We can see what's going on between them, and we saw it kind of last season too. So that was really it for that scene. There wasn't really much at the tailgate or whatever. Like I said, nobody else showed up because they're not featuring Timber right now. And I can't really blame them off of everything that kind of happened last season. However, I can't exactly remember what happened between her and Latrice to get them to this point. If someone could please let me know in the comments. I just can't remember. And I don't feel like going back to look it up. So anyway, JJ drops by on Cliff to give him some deer jerky because, you know, he be hunting on his land or whatever. I was like, okay, whatever. And they both speak on the situation between their wives, and respectfully, each one is taking their wife's side, which is a no-brainer. But in this situation, I just feel like I understand Soguchi's frustration and irritation and all that. However, I also understand that Latrice was probably like, you know, I got business moves to make, and that's just what I'm focused on at this time. However, I do feel as though Latrice could have communicated that so Soguchi wasn't still looking for the deal. And I also believe that if Soguchi had received that communication, I need to know that she wouldn't have been upset by that. If she was unable to deliver on what Latrice needed at that time, then it just was what it was. But I can't agree to the fact that there should have been some more communication going on between the two. And that's just what I'll say about that for right now. So then Glenn shows up toting lies and more lies. And he tells them about Letitia looking for a place and all this sob story. I call it sob stories because he be lying and he don't be telling his part of things. He don't be telling what he did to get them there. That's what we should be placing the emphasis on. Because at the end of the day, you talking about I'm giving, and she's in it, you know, if she's not receiving, then what are we doing? Yeah, you're giving her what you think is appropriate at this time. Where was that same energy when you were putting all your focus on running the streets and being in people's DMs and all that and having possible outside baby scares? Where was that energy then, Glenn? Why were you not trying to give her what she needed then? You were too busy putting your own needs, I'm not gonna say needs, your own wants, I should say, in front of anything that she was saying. And you only wanted to listen, you only wanted to take her serious when she dipped on you. That's the only time you wanted to really see what she had to say. So no, we don't feel bad for you. You brought this on yourself. You can take whatever you're giving and give it right back to the other hand and put it right back in your pocket. Because clearly Letitia's not, well, I'm not gonna say clearly because, you know, Letitia, you know, goes back and forth on her word every other episode, child. But for right now, if she does not want to deal with you and what you are trying to bring, quote unquote, to the table, you're trying to reel her back in, then that's her business. And she's not at fault for not wanting to reciprocate that energy. Too little or too late. I don't feel bad at all. So I don't know why I wrote that. Sorry, y'all, look at my notes. And I also, this scene ended on Selena and Cliff possibly having a relationship or something in the past. I don't care. I don't want to speak on that. That lady is remarried. And Cliff, we don't care about anybody trying to be with you. We don't. And then next we see Latrice, and she pops in on Josh at this shop. And this is a pretty sad scene because it literally was a clear depiction of what is going on behind closed doors, what I was speaking on in the beginning, where Josh has clearly witnessed someone being blinded by emotional abuse. And, you know, it could be because of a lot of different reasons, you know, that we've already probably discussed and they've discussed in the show and all that. But Josh, the way that the tears were flowing and the emotions and all that, and just Latrice's demeanor in this moment was just like, I don't know how to explain it, y'all, but it was just like one of those times where you see somebody, oh, I guess you want to say maybe being in denial, or just kind of like trying to sweep things under the rug and trying to double check in with the next person who saw ish hit the fan, like kind of try to reassure them, be like, no, like, you know, everything's fine, it's good, like we good, and kind of trying to put a smile on and try to make that other person sweep it back under the rug with them. It was given that, and Josh was like not here for it, because he really sees somebody who he considers not only a boss but a friend. He sees them in a situation that is not serving them. It's not serving Latrice at this time. And he is probably so conflicted on how to go about this, because on one hand, we're over here talking about how he ain't, you know, he probably ain't ish and he does this and he does that, and you're unhappy about this, that, and the other thing. But then when the cameras come around, or when Cliff comes around, it's a whole different story. So I can understand how that's super frustrating. And I can understand why he at the end was just like, I'm good on it, because you're not going to keep, like, I'm not going to go harder for somebody than they do their self. And she's taking up for him, and Josh knows it. And he even went as far as to say, you know, you're basically crying out for help, and then you're going back on it. And that's the whole situation in a nutshell. So next time, I mean, I'm not going to say next time. And unfortunately, I really, it makes me nervous, because it's like, I feel like going forward, she'll be more careful, not in the way that we want her to be, but she'll probably be more careful in letting us see those really close, seeing into their true dynamic. She's probably going to go through hoops and hurdles to make sure we don't see that again, and that he don't see that again, and nobody probably sees that again, until again she is ready and wants to take the blinders off. And that just makes me even more nervous. Not that it's anybody else's responsibility to intervene, but it's just like, it's so frustrating to see. So Gucci has this little boot camp 30-minute thing or whatever, because, you know, she's all about fitness. And she says that all hands were invited, all the Belles were invited. However, in the end, I think it was everybody but, again, Akeisha didn't show up. And Dee was still keeping it real in this moment, y'all. Shout outs to her again. But Tambra shows up first, and she just showed up, and she was just looking like a side eye. I don't even know how to explain it, but she was just like looking like a I don't want to say bad energy, but she just looking like yeah, something's up with her. So Gucci informs Tambra about, you know, where her and Latrice stand, because, you know, we're trying to peel back the layers of what is been going on between them two. And Letitia shows up as well. She was all ready for yoga. Joke's on you. It's actually a boot camp. And sis was struggling the entire time, because she was like, no, I did not sign up for this. My lace is melting. Get me out this sun. It's hot and I'm over it. And finally, Latrice and Josh show up, or I shouldn't say finally, Latrice and Josh show up, and then finally Marie had show up. Marie and her BBL showed up, and which of course Latrice comments on. In the confessional, Marie speaks on how Tambra is doing too much and manipulating the situation and all this, but she never quite got around to telling Tambra this, because instead You know how we know how Marie gets down from season 1 and 2, where if she feels as though, she has to make it the whole Marie show. And she felt as though, I guess, when Latrice was walking around or whatever, she just felt like she just could not tell her in that moment. She felt like Latrice needed to go away before she told Tambra about herself. And I was just like, I don't feel like it was that serious. I feel like if you really wanted to get it off your chest, then you would have said it in that moment, because Latrice wasn't even coming over there to say anything to you, girl, like at all. So Marie then, in true Marie fashion, has to go around telling everybody, this is what she's been trying to tell y'all about her, and and this, that, and the other thing. So when Letitia calls Tambra out for not receiving an invite, we could really, start getting into what the real issue is. And correct me if I'm wrong, but last time I checked, none of these reality shows really work off of the whole, you tell the one person and then they tell this person, and it's supposed to just be like a game of telephone. Last time I checked, you should probably, Tambra, invite everybody if you say you really want them there. You knew dang well that So Gucci was not about to go around and invite everybody else. You knew dang well you did not really want them there, but instead of just coming out and saying that, you're trying to keep it cute. And I'm glad that Letitia called you on it and clocked you, because you're trying to sit here and be all sad and upset talking about Marie always shows up for your events and da-da-da-da-da. But you knew that you did not send out a direct invite, ma'am. You knew that. So why are you trying to play in our faces? I don't appreciate it. And I want you to stop. But that's really all we got from that little thing. And the final scene was the first little bit of the baby shower, which it's gonna go down more so next week. But for this week, all we saw is the fact that Selena didn't really have things quite 100% ready by the time everybody showed up. So Gucci needed to just speak on how she did these baby shower, and she had the chairs, and she had the this, and she had the that, and you need to take a chapter out of my book. That's what it was giving. But again, last time I checked, Selena hasn't been going around saying nothing crazy to where that warrants this type of energy. And I hope she calls you on it. I really do, if that's the case. And Latrice shows up because her and Selena are cool, just as well as her and Tambra have been cool for a long time. So I think So Gucci, that also put another battery in her back, where she's kind of like, okay, maybe not so much with Tambra, but definitely with Latrice, where it's like, okay, I'm already not feeling you, and then you friends with her, and we kind of have some friction going on between us. Like, it's just giving you too big in an age to be acting like this. And JJ, another one, wanting to comment on Cena's tardiness and all that. And I can't really take him serious. I got to take him with a grain of salt. 1, because of his hair, and 2, because everything he says is still given, I do stuff for show. So whatever. But that was really it, y'all. Like I said, I wasn't really trying to be up here for that long. Gotta go do some homework and all that good stuff. But I hope you enjoyed this recap, this review, whatever you want to call it. I will try to be back on a better schedule this week. Episode 3 does come on tomorrow, so I will be back within the next few days with my review for that one, and I will not wait until the day before. Like, I'm trying to have it up ASAP. But I hope you enjoyed this week's. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on your post notifications, all that. And also too, I've been thinking of some other shows. Like I said, like I've said previously, I'm also thinking of adding, I'll put it on my community post. How about that? But I'm thinking of adding just some different shows that I've never really discussed on here or anywhere for that matter, really. But I'm trying to switch it up, trying to keep giving you guys content that you are, interested in truly, that I'm interested in, that we can talk about, have a kiki and all that good stuff. As you can see, scrolling at the bottom, there are my socials. If you would like to donate a Cash App, that would be awesome. Never required, but always, 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 always appreciated nonetheless. And please don't forget to like. Again, I'm trying to get back in this algorithm. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye.